Bonjour, salut, hello year 7, it's Mr. Calvert and welcome to your first guided listening homework of the year. As I've just said, it's the first time we've done this, so don't worry, I will explain everything that you need to do. You're probably looking at this sheet a little bit blankly and thinking, what am I meant to do? Well, everything will be explained on this video. Really, all you need is this video and then a copy of the sheet that you can see here now, which should have been given to you. If you haven't got a copy, if you're lucky enough to have a printer at home, you could just print this off because this should be on Insight as well. If not, you can just do step 5 and step 6 on a piece of paper. So don't worry, you can do it however is best for you. Just remember to bring something back in with you for whenever this piece of work is due. Guided listening is very, very straightforward. What it is about is you listening to me saying various words and phrases in French and then doing whatever is asked of you at each of the steps. I will explain everything as we go. You just need to follow the video. There will be points in the video that I ask you to pause and stop and do a certain thing. There'll be other points where I ask you to pause and stop and rewind to replay the piece of audio that I've just said. Rather than me saying the same thing again and again and again, it's better just to rely on you to stop and pause whenever you need to. Please as well, don't pause and don't rewind until I ask you to do so. Part of the skill here is to just keep going. Don't give up, don't stop. Listen to the full section, then you can pause and rewind it when I ask you to do it. Okay, so don't feel the pressure of the listening, because it is really, really tough. I've said this to people before. It's the hardest thing that we ask you to do in French, and it's really, really difficult. So just try and keep focused, try and concentrate as much as you can, and resist the urge to stop and rewind time and time again. Because, as I say, the big part of the skill is to just keep going. If you're ready, if you want to pause now to get yourself prepared, make sure you've got a pen, make sure you've got the sheet in front of you, or a piece of paper if you want to work from the piece of paper, and we will start in a moment. Okay, so steps 1 to 4 are very, very similar. You don't need to write anything for these. You just need to do what I'm going to ask you to do at each point of the process and actually read the instructions that you've got there. So step 1, this is going to be me just saying some French words and then saying the English with them afterwards. Step 2 is the same thing, but what I would like you to do is after each word, press pause, and then you're going to just repeat the English. Okay? Step 3 is actually the same thing. So you're just going to do exactly the same thing again. You're going to go back to the point at which you need to start and press pause after each word, and then you're going to just say the English. For step 4, it's a similar kind of thing, but this time I would like you to say the English 5 times. It's really, really important that you do step 2, 3 and 4 separately, and that you don't just know, well, I'll just jump to step 4 because it's easy. This is all part of the vocabulary staying in your long-term memory. If you approach it slightly differently, 3 different times, it will help you remember it. Okay, so don't leap forward to step 4, follow the process. That's very, very, very important. I will just say the audio once, and then at the end I'll explain what you need to do. You need to rewind and follow each of the 4 steps. Okay, so here we go. En Écosse, in Scotland. En Allemagne, in Germany. Au Pays de Galles, in Wales. J'habite, I live. Je suis, I am. J'ai, I have, can also mean I am if you're talking about age. Mon anniversaire, my birthday. C'est le, is the. 13, 13. Brun, brown, hair. Les yeux, eyes. Les cheveux, hair. Vert, green. Court, short. Noisette, hazel, eyes. Bouclé, curly. 20, 20. Juin, June. Avril, April. 12, 12. So as you can hear, that's a real mishmash of quite random words from everything that we've been learning since the start of September. So there's a real mixture of different things for you there. That was step 1. What I need you to do now is pause, rewind the video to the point when I start to say the words, and then follow step 2, get to this point again, pause, go back and do step 3, follow it through, pause again, and then do step 4. Okay, and the instructions for step 2, step 3, and step 4 are on the sheet there. Okay, wonderful, well done. So you should be finished with steps 1 through to 4. At this point now, I would like you to write some things down. So as it says here, you need to listen to me again saying the French. It's the same words, but they're in a different order now. And what I would like you to do is write down just the English for these words. Okay, so same words, different order, and you're going to write down the English. Please don't pause between each one. Just have a go at writing them as quickly as you can. One of the skills here is just being able to cope with lots of things being thrown at you quite quickly and you being able to keep on top of that. Okay, so resist the urge to pause. If you want to go back, wait until the end and listen to the full thing again, please. Okay, and I'll say that again at the end. So here we go. And I'm just saying them this time with the French. So you won't get the English with them. You will just get the French and you need to try and think what those things mean. So if you've done 1 to 4 and you've done 1 to 4 properly and you've done them well, this should be fairly straightforward for you by this point. Okay, so here we are. Number 1. I won't number them all, but I'm just going to say this is number 1 and then I'll say which is the last one. Okay, so number 1, the first one, cours, cours, cours. J'habite, j'habite, j'habite. 13, 13, 13. Les yeux, les yeux, les yeux. 20, 20, 20. 12, 12, 12. Noisette, noisette, noisette. Vert, vert, vert. Avril, avril, avril. En Allemagne, en Allemagne, en Allemagne. En Écosse, en Écosse, en Écosse. Mon anniversaire, mon anniversaire. J'ai, j'ai. Bouclé, bouclé, bouclé. Juin, juin, juin. Je suis, je suis, je suis. Les cheveux, les cheveux, les cheveux. Brun, brun, brun. C'est-le, c'est-le, c'est-le. Au pays de Galles, au pays de Galles, au pays de Galles. Okay, excellent. So, by that point, that's all 20 done. What you can do now, you've got a choice. If you're happy with your answers, you've got everything, fantastic job. If you want to listen again, pause and rewind and listen through to them once more. If you still haven't got them after that, you can have one more listen, but after that, I'd like you just to stop and move on to the next activity. Okay, so really, really well done. This is the next step, which will be step 6. So for step 6, very, very similar thing, but this time, and listen very carefully what I'm asking you to do, I'm going to say the words again in another different order. So exactly the same words, different order. And what I would like you to do now is write the French. So I will be speaking French and you need to write the French. This is very, very hard. I've already said that listening's hard in general. You writing down the French is really, really tough. It's really, really difficult. So, as usual, have a go, have a try, and do your best. Listen all the way through and then play it again. If you want to play it again after that as well, that's fine. And for this step, I'm happy for you to listen really as many times as you need. You can go back and listen again, but remember, please don't pause between each one. Just try and listen to the full thing, okay? So get yourselves ready and we will make a start. First one, les yeux, les yeux, les yeux. Avril, avril, avril. En Écosse, en Écosse, en Écosse. J'ai, j'ai, j'ai. Juin, juin, juin. Au pays de Galles, au pays de Galles, au pays de Galles. 12, 12, 12. J'habite, j'habite, j'habite. Les cheveux, les cheveux, les cheveux. C'est le, c'est le, c'est le. Cours, cours, cours. 20, 20, 20. Noisette, noisette, noisette. 13, 13, 13. En Allemagne, en Allemagne, en Allemagne. Boucler, 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 boucler. Mon anniversaire, mon anniversaire, mon anniversaire. Vert, vert, vert. Je suis, je suis, je suis. Brun, brun, brun. Okay, excellent. That was the last one. Really, really well done. I'm very happy for you now to stop, pause, rewind, listen back, and listen back to the full thing as many times as you would like, okay, for this, because as I've said, this is really, really, really tough. So have a good go, have a good try, and listen back to this as many times as you want. Super. So the final step, step 7, we're done with the work on the sheet now. This is really, really important though, just to pull together everything that we've done and really, really consolidate that vocabulary into your memories. So you now need to go and spend some time on Quizlet or Blooket. You can do one, you can do both, it's entirely your choice, but do something now straight away on that vocab, even if it's just one thing. Even if you go on Quizlet and just do practice with the flashcards, for example, that's fine. If you go on Blooket and do one round of something on Blooket, that's absolutely fine as well. You can then come back to it later and do a bit more, but do something now, honestly, for 5 minutes. 5 minutes maximum, do a quick practice of the words, and that will just help root them a bit more deeply into your long-term memory. Very, very well done on our first guided listening. You hopefully got the hang of it now. You need to bring the printed sheet, if you've got it, or the paper that you've worked on into next lesson. Ça, c'était très bien, c'était très très bien passé, vous avez très bien travaillé et je vous verrai à la prochaine. Merci, au revoir, au revoir.